What's going on, everybody? Today is October 31st. We're hunting in southern Indiana, and honestly, we just saw our first deer, so forgot to do an intro on the car, but we're doing one now. Just saw our first deer, kind of bebop around up there, and went straight over there. I'm pretty sure it's that spike buck that I saw earlier in the year, and by earlier in the year, I mean earlier in the week. So we'll kind of see what happens. Yeah. His nose was to the ground and moving at a pretty good clip, so hopefully there's some rutting action going on. I still think it's maybe a day or not a day, a week early or so, but you never know. So tag along. Hopefully you guys can see something, and it's not just me talking into a camera. All right, first deer of the season's down. Hopefully you guys can see it. Saw two deer silhouette themselves across the ridge there. Actually, I have a stand up there, which is where I've hunted a fair bit before. But so saw two deer, and then one took off kind of towards me, and then behind it I heard a buck grunting, and hopefully you guys can hear that in the background. But in case you couldn't, buck was grunting. Actually, it's a different buck than what I've seen out here before. Nice little, like a basket 8, maybe. I don't think it's the same deer that I saw yesterday. Maybe it is. But deer came down, kind of pushed themselves. One went off that way. Doe I ended up shooting comes this way. Buck comes this way. Doe runs about right here. Buck is behind him, behind her. I'm not going to shoot the buck because the buck is a little on the small side, honestly. But now that we got some deer on the ground, life's good. But deer comes in, drew back somewhere right in here, and then she stopped down in there and laid the old hammer to her. She's actually down up there somewhere. I watched her go down, so I do know she's dead. Actually, I think I see her right there. So one way or another, life's good. Got one on the ground, and now the work starts. So appreciate you guys tagging along for this little adventure here. It was a good morning. Saw a fair bit of deer, and I just saw a bobcat. So Indiana trapping season for bobcats comes in like a week, and I have my license, but I was kind of on the fence about doing it or whatever. Saw one last night and saw one this morning. Yeah, so definitely gonna be trapping some bobcats, or trying to anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm gonna tough it out for another 20 minutes or so, and then go pick this thing up and head to the house. Alright, so on the ground, tons of blood. Instantly, I shot her right here. That's a tree. It's a tree right there with a stand in it. So, made about a nice, probably 15-yard shot. Pretty standard stuff. Can't find my arrow yet, but she may have taken it with her. I don't think she did, but haven't found it yet. Also had a buck, the same buck that was pushing her, came through and walked right over this trail. Still knows the ground, so apparently it didn't booger him up too bad. Every time I see him, he gets just a touch bit bigger, and then he walks away and it gets smaller again. So I don't know, maybe I'll end up shooting him, but for right now he's getting a pass, especially with the old freezer queen down. So let's go find this deer. All right, found her. It's a pretty good looking deer, honestly, all things considered. Just got a short drag down that way so we can get her picked up on the truck. Exit wound. Oh, went right through and broke that leg. That's the exit wound. That's kind of crazy. So I gotta find my arrow somewhere. I'm sure it's buried in the dirt, but overall pretty successful hunt. I saw a bunch of deer. I saw a bobcat, and ended up shooting one. First one of the season, 2025 season. So got some work to do. We're gonna get this thing back to the house, and then we're gonna take Avery trick-or-treating tonight. So it's gonna be a interesting process. But anyway, thanks again for sticking with me on this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys can see the shot and everything happened. It was close enough. So yeah, pretty interesting day overall. Great day to be out in the woods on Halloween. Gotta go get this thing taken care of and get out of here. So probably be out here, maybe hunting tomorrow, maybe hunt a new spot tomorrow. You never know, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks again. we'll catch you out there on the next one.